recording?
Yeah, we're inside.
All right, then we're recording. This is Adesope live here. This is like the first edition of a brand new podcast. We're going to be breaking down the ins and outs of the Afro pop culture, Afrobeats industry. I'm here breaking it down by myself. We'll be getting in guests, of course, superstars to come in the building and have a chat with me about their careers, what's really going, what's popping in this building. And I've got the producer in the background, Manny. He's trying to sit, stand, kneel, whatever you want to call it. Just making sure that everything is good. How you doing, brother?
Hey, yo, I'm blessed. You already know the vibes, man. It's Manny at it. Yeah.
Yeah. So are you comfortable this way?
Yeah, look, I'm literally kneeling on the floor right now because we only got one seat, you know what I'm saying?
So now we're gonna, that's how we're gonna have to do it today to break it down. So just to give people a little insight of what we're gonna be doing, looking at the headlines across the culture, around Africa, around the world, things that interest us, things that hit, the high notes, and I'll be sharing my thoughts and opinions on some of these headlines and giving you the juice on what's really going on. I've looked at a cross section of topics over the last 5 or 6 days, and I wanted to let's look at that a little bit deeper. First of all, Manny, what have you got at the top of the list?
Hey, man, so the boy himself.
Yeah, who's that?
Mr. Weezy. You feel me? Hey, yo, Wizkid dropped the Smile video featuring her, man, and my goodness. Did I just say her, man?
Well, you were trying to say her and man. But because you put it together, it sounded a little bit funny.
Her, man. But her. Super sick video.
Listen, if you haven't seen the video, I think when Smile came out as an audio, a lot of us within the Afrobeats industry weren't really sure about the record because it didn't sound Afrobeats. It sounded a little reggae, a little kind of vibesy, R&B, slow tempo. Has been some sort of style that Wizkid has been going in and out of. Where he's doing his own thing and just mixing sounds from the UK, the West Indies, and of course Africa together. And I think Smile was an example of that. Shortly after the record came out, it made it to the Barack Obama playlist, which also caught attention. And then people were like, some of the Afrobeats DJs were really waiting for him to drop the lambas, the beats and stuff. But I think the video that was released this week was a masterstroke, because not only was the video just really simple and nice and colorful and bright, it also showed a lot of people smiling, especially Wizkid's 3 sons. Good-looking young boys. And it was the first time I think Wizkid has put all 3 kids in one video. They look, they were all dressed in white. A lot of people smiling. We saw her, obviously recorded her part in the States or something, and then Wizkid recorded his part here, and his sons, and the clips were just added from around the world. It was just a feel-good video. Sun shining, green grass, white clothing by the kids, and I think the video actually has now put that record Smile into everybody's playlist. So if you saw the video, you instantly want to be like, yo, I think this record does it for me because it makes you feel good. What you're looking at resonates with the lyrics of the record. And to go on further, to see how incredible the record had done, Wizkid trended in the United States of America with 134,000 tweets within a couple of hours of the video being released. So that shows the influence and the power that this young man has, particularly collaborating with her, who also has a strong following in the States. So, even though the Afrobeats heads didn't get it at the beginning, once the video came out and we saw the kind of numbers it was doing on YouTube, also the impact it made on social media and catching the blogs with his kids and everything, you have to think, well done, Wizkid, a masterstroke by the brother.
Absolutely, and that's the thing about videos. It brings songs.
That's what it's supposed to do, But a lot of people miss it, But this one definitely it ticked those boxes, and Wizkid and his camp can definitely, and the Wizkid FC on Twitter, they can definitely be happy.
Yeah, man.
So what's the next one on the agenda? What you got there?
Hey man, so this one we have to go all the way to Ghana.
Let's go.
Ghana. So Shatta Wale and Stone Boy, they had a sound clash. Jeez, man. Who did you think won that one?
Listen, first of all, sound clashing is part of dancehall culture. Yeah. It's a very, very popular phenomenon in the West Indies, particularly Jamaica, where you have the likes of Bounty Killer, Benny Man, really stepping on stage and going song for song, toe to toe, freestyle to freestyle, in front of each other, and really just kind of getting the crowd hyped. And it's a combination of having, hit records as well as crowd control and performing on stage and really doing it well. Stoneboy and Shatta Wale have had a checkered past in the last couple of years. Both have been, arguing who's the king of dancehall in Ghana in recent times. And the funny thing is, about 2 years ago, Stoneboy, it led up to a situation where Stoneboy pulled a gun on stage at the Ghana Music Awards at Shatta Wale. Yeah, it was a big news. It was big. Both of them were banned from the award ceremony. The beef had reached fever pitch at the time, and they became, they had to squash it. Because after that, they had to squash the beef, but they moved on from there and have become cordial. So when the Asasi Sound Clash was announced and it was going to be headlined by Stoneboy and Shatta Wale, I thought to myself, now this is risky ground. These guys have had a checkered past. They've had temperature between both of them. It hasn't been all love between both guys in the past, but they've definitely been cordial. And about 2 weeks ago, it also happened that my brother Stoneboy also got into one at the Sarkodie Black Love concert and was, removed from the show. So he, coming into this sound clash, it looked a little bit, it was touchy, So I looked at the sound clash. It was absolutely amazing. I think Shatta came with his crew, Stoneboy came with his crew, hit for hit. It was hosted by Shawnee B from BBC Radio 1 Extra, I think it is, the legendary presenter, and that pushes really reggae and dancehall culture. And for me, I think they had about 40 records or something like that. It was crazy. First of all, yes, Shatta Wale has a lot of huge smashes. Yes, Stoneboy does as well, but Shatta Wale has a lot of big records. However, Stoneboy, I think, embodied the sound clash spirit to the max, in the sense that not only was he playing the big records, he also added the performance element to it. He was, he was in that spirit, and for me, I think that was how I marked it. Shatta Wale, yes, had a lot of hit records. Stoneboy had a lot of hit records as well, but Stoneboy added a little bit of that, that performance angle, where when you're seeing them on stage, you're not only listening to the music, but you're also watching how Stoneboy's reacting. They had the back and forths, and at a point, Stoneboy used curse words in it, and Shatta Wale was like, Shatta Wale used curse words, and Stoneboy was like, yo, you're crossing the line there. And Shatta had to pull up the microphone and say, listen, don't come here and play the victim. It's a sound clash. Anything goes. You understand? I can say whatever I want to say. It's no holds barred. And and then they carried on as well. There was a point where Shawnee B had to stop the crew as well, because Shatta Wale came on and was throwing money at Stoneboy and Stoneboy's crew, so they had to stop that, pick the money up. Shawnee B had to even ask some of Shatta Wale's crew to leave the stage, because he was getting a little bit rowdy, getting a little bit tasty. They were walking across stages, going into others' camps, and at the end of, I think, the final record that Shatta Wale played at the end of the night, where he said this is where he takes it for Ghana and wants to prove to the world that he's an international artist and not a local artist. He drops the King Already record with yours.
That's a big flex. That's a big flex.
I was waiting. You basically were watching the sound clash, just waiting for the moment when Shatta was gonna pull that one out of the bag. So he just like, what did you do to the King Already? Once he heard that, I'm like, oh man. But he played that record, and he walks off stage before Stonebwoy goes into his smash record and wraps it up. So for me, Shatta didn't even wait till the results had come on, because people were voting online, people were watching on Facebook, YouTube, all of that stuff. And I think at the time when Shatta left the stage, the votes were, was like 350 something thousand for Stonebwoy, 350 or 40 something thousand for Shatta Wale and stuff. He didn't wait to hear who the winner was, but because Stonebwoy was very prepared, he stayed on stage at the end of the day, he performed the record at the end of the night. He looked like he definitely embodied the Sound Clash spirit, even though Shatta had some crazy moments. I'm leaning slightly towards, I think I was leaning slightly towards Stonebwoy. For me, okay. Just because of the extra performance element, because that's what you want to see in the Sound Clash. And then they had a part where they broke it down, and Shatta came over and said, listen, that beat is my beat, I'm gonna kill it for you, so put the instrumental on Stonebwoy's beat, and he dropped a back verse on that. And then Stonebwoy was like, nah, DJ should keep playing that, let me put a verse back. And he went on a freestyle and went back to Shatta Wale, where he was like, I'm gonna kill you tonight, this or that. And for me, those were golden moments. They freestyle off the top of their head. They both did. For me, I just think, regardless of who you think won, dancehall and reggae culture won in Ghana. Pop culture won in Ghana, and he also just puts Ghana ahead of the list when it comes to reggae and dancehall in Africa. Because to have the top two artists of that genre taking the risk to come on stage and put their art to the world and be tested in front of fans that way, you have to give it to those brothers. I sent both of them a message at the end of the day and said, I'm just proud of them. The way they handled themselves, the way they made it entertaining, and what they did for Ghanaian music and Ghanaian culture and dancehall in Africa, to show that we have superstars of that ilk that can really rock the stage and generate that much interest. So it was a win for the culture.
Big salutes, big salutes. How can people find that video?
Just go on YouTube or go on Facebook and type Asase Sound Clash, Stonebwoy Shatta Wale. Stonebwoy Shatta Wale Sound Clash, it comes up. And you'd enjoy like an hour and probably about an hour and 30 minutes of just vibes.
One last question on the Sound Clash. Who else in Africa would you like to see clashing just like that? I have one in mind.
I think Burna and Patoranking can make that happen.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
When I was watching that, Burna was definitely the one that came to mind. Burna he's a monster. He would definitely play you with hits, and he can definitely jump.
I'm going off.
And he will jump on instrumentals. So for me, Burna, without a doubt, is the guy that can do that.
Hey man, let's make that happen, man. Let's do it.
Definitely.
But on to the next topic. Hey, we got a whole loaded show today, so you guys better stay tuned.
Absolutely.
Look, we got Yemi Alade announcing she's been announced as a UNDP ambassador.
That's amazing. I think it just
big shout.
Big shout outs to Yemi Alade again. The Afro Queens are pushing the culture. We see what happened with Tiwa this month. A month ago, she's dropped the album, did incredible numbers. Was up on almost every big platform around the world, from CNN to Breakfast Club to Hot 97 to the list goes on. And then to come into this month and see Yemi Alade being announced as a UNDP ambassador, dropping a speech on a platform and just getting the world's attention from being an Afrobeats musician or Afro-pop musician from Lagos, Nigeria, that's caught the eye of the world with her style representing Africa to the fullest. I think it's another tick for staying true to yourself, representing your culture, and you can touch the world from wherever you are. That's another example of just being yourself, doing what you love, representing your culture and your people, and the world will respect you for it and will still give you the audience and attention that you need and deserve. She went on to say that she'll be using her voice to help people through this COVID-19 situation, this very difficult position that people have been in, because a lot of people haven't been able to earn a living, and however she can lend her voice alongside UNDP to raise the lifestyles of people and to help them get back on their feet. She's ready to do that, and I think that's what African women and African mothers, and that's what they do. So Yemi Alade being another young queen stepping up into a big role like that just shows that it keeps on going. A great musician, great artist that's using her popularity and her voice to do great things. So we give her a big shout out for that.
Yeah, big talk. So on to the next one. This one you're gonna have to need some help with the pronunciation of names.
Was that Casper? Casper Nyoves.
Hey, shout out to Casper. Where's Casper from?
Listen, Casper is without doubt top 2 rappers in Africa.
Right, that's where he's from.
It's South Africa.
You know what? That's crazy because it seems like South Africa is really holding the flag.
Yeah, the last 2 years, the last 3-4 years. They've done amazing things. Because you have to understand that, first of all, Casper, he's gone on from a 5,000 capacity show to a 30,000 capacity show to a 60. Then he did, I think, 90,000 about 2 years ago in South Africa. And for me, that's like, that's huge numbers off of rap music. You have to understand that, this guy is doing these crazy numbers off of rap music. So he's had an incredible career, and recently he announced that he was about to be a father, and then a week ago during the week, the birth of his child was announced. We haven't seen the pictures of the baby yet. But he said the baby and mother are doing great. We've seen him in, dressed up like he was going into the theater. We've seen him just, he's done everything. There was a meme on social media that said, because Casper refers to himself as Mufasa. So he has some strong pictures. There's a meme on social media where a fan tweeted a picture to him and said, Casper, you better announce the birth of your child this way. You remember in Lion King where they held the baby up?
Crazy.
So I thought that was crazy, man. So we're looking forward to see the baby. Shout out to Casper Nyoves, a really good friend of ours, and he makes amazing music and has really broken down the barriers. And history also has it that his stage was that which Kanye West copied a couple of years ago. The floating stage that Kanye West was rapping on. Casper did that first in South Africa.
Crazy.
Yeah. Last year he was on a zip line around the 90,000. He was on a zip line. He went on a zip liner across a 90,000 capacity stadium performing to his fans.
Keep pushing the boundaries, especially with live performances.
Absolutely.
There's so much that Africa has to offer. I think a lot of inspiration comes from Africa. We need to start getting our props.
Now there will be, that's one of the reasons why we celebrate the likes of Wizkid, David, Oyemi, Tiwa, Casper, aka Burna Boy, because the bigger they become and the more influence they have on the bigger stage, the people around the world will represent them, will understand that these guys have something special and different, and you can't steal from them without giving them props. And that's one of the reasons why the Afrobeats chart was created in the UK. The Afrobeats UK official charts was created, which is Afrobeats and anything that comes from African pop. You get the credit that it deserves, that this music was inspired by African music. You ain't gonna run away with that flavor.
Just to go, I know this wasn't planned, but to go off a quick tangent. You've been in the game for so long. You've represented, shutting it down. In the past few years, especially because that's literally what we're talking about. In the past, let me say 5 years. How much have you seen change in the scene? Because
it's been huge. It's been huge. I think what can be underestimated is the influence of the pop icons, the Wizkids, the Davidos, the Burna Boys. They came into the international scene, giving young folks like yourself a little picture into that, I've got young kids like myself in Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa that are just as cool and fresh, that like their own style, that have, these are guys that are performing to 20,000 fans in the UK. So because of Wizkid's show, I say that a million times over, because of his show at the O2, I was invited to BBC Radio 2 for an interview on the most important program on BBC Radio, the Today Show, asking me questions about Afrobeats and what is this with 20,000 screaming fans at the O2. Do you understand what I mean? So that's how much things have changed for us.
Absolutely, because I grew up on the Sasha P's of the world.
Exactly.
Like,
back then.
I'm that.
The Tribe Men and all that.
All of it. And it's like Daddy Shoki. You feel me?
Two-Face and Face.
And it's like, I'm just happy. I'm happy because I'm
see where it is now.
Where it is now, absolutely.
Listen, man, it's great.
Absolutely. So,
what have you got for me next?
Hey, man, let's do this. So we've got Mr. Runtown. Hey, man, but I don't know. This one is good news.
What is
this one is good news. But Runtown's album allegedly got leaked online.
Listen, he started trending about a couple of days ago on Twitter. He hit me up and he said it looked like a WeTransfer link of his somehow leaked online, and a couple of fans downloaded. Just before we started recording, I put a video of his girlfriend, the supermodel Adesope, dancing to the song, and a fan commented under that video and said, "Oh, this song by Runtown is dope, but I like this one better." Talking about another record
that is on that. No way.
So it was gut-wrenching, heartbreaking. They hacked into his WeTransfer link and downloaded, but some of the fans is refusing to share the link, saying people should wait to buy it.
Absolutely.
So now it's kind of sped things up almost 2 months. He's flown to Nigeria from Milan 2 days ago. He went from Milan to Paris to Nigeria, to Ghana to Nigeria, just to wrap up the album, to be able to put it out within the next 1 or 2 weeks before people start to really benefit off of it. I mean, and we're talking some really big hits we've had in the past of leaks. It's affected the likes of Drake. It's affected other people in the world. But coming within the Afrobeats culture that we're used to piracy anyway, we're just starting to get to where people are making money off of their music. The last thing you want to do is give them a bunch of music for free. So as you said, it's not good news, but hopefully it's good marketing at the end of the day. 50 Cent sold 1.2 million records, Get Rich or Die Trying, in the first week. And he had almost 500,000 bootleg copies as well on the streets, and he still broke records. So he believed that the bootleg was how people found out that the album was so good, and they went back to buy the original. So
we're hoping.
So Runtown, you're listening. That's what I'm thinking might happen to you.
But so the last one on the list. This one I'm super excited for.
Let's go.
You already know. Smade is doing the madness right now.
Smade is doing the madness.
doing the madness. Hey, so we've got some new additions on the Afro Nation lineup for 2021. And Twitter went crazy. But what is who the new?
Listen, first of all, about a month ago when they announced the 2021 first editions, which included Chris Brown, Twitter went absolutely bananas. People that had cursed Afro Nation in the past that were asking for their refunds were begging to buy those tickets back. Because Chris Brown was gonna be there and all of these guys and everybody was going crazy. And then a couple of days ago, the new edition came in with Bounty Killer. Bounty Killer coming off of the incredible versus battle that he had with Beanie Man on Instagram during lockdown that absolutely broke down the internet with over like 700,000 people. That was huge. So him coming off of that and jumping onto the Afro Nation lineup for 2021 is exciting, but none's as excited as Megan Thee Stallion. who's been in who's been in probably the biggest news of the last 1 month. I'm talking Tory Lanez, these shots in the foot, as well as WAP with Cardi B. So she's broken all sorts of news in the last 1 month, and then from that, she's landed on the Afro Nation lineup. Twitter went bananas. People say all sorts of funny memes. I think, again, Afro Nation looks like they're taking this festival to the next level next year with the amount of people that they put on a lineup, from Burna Wiz, Davido to, I think there's Daju in there. The list goes on and on, from Yemi Alade to Stone Boy. The list goes on. It's also been announced that it's going to be 3 stages.
Is it? So last year was
one stage.
Okay.
This year is going to be 3 stages. They've got the likes of Craig Tankona, Tion Wayne. It's amazing. So it's some people were like, "Oh, Afro Nation, man, what's going on? Is this R&B or hip hop?" But you have to understand that Afro Nation is an umbrella that celebrates everything that's Afro and Black. So from Afrobeats to hip hop to R&B to grime to dancehall, all of these guys have a right to be at such an incredible festival that celebrates Black greatness, but in performing arts. And Corona better fix up, because next year in Portugal, this lineup looks like it's about to shut down the entire world. If you are not there, I would just say for a week, make sure you close your social media.
Snapchat, Instagram,
just get out of Snapchat, Instagram, or whatever, because this is about to be a madness. And I think Smade his own one here. If they could pull it off with Corona not disturbing next year, I can guarantee you it's going to be the most talked about festival in the world amongst Black people. So it's an honor to be a part of it, and I'm really, really excited and looking forward to it, man. We've had a crazy time in Portugal, had an amazing time in Ghana. We're set to go into Puerto Rico, and then this happened. So we're really just looking and warming up and getting ready for 2021, and we're gonna make it happen.
Hey, even just wanted to throw it back and bring it forward a little bit. So obviously, last year you were on stage shutting it down. So what is that gonna happen? Is that what we're looking forward to in 2020?
Absolutely, man. 2021. I'm gonna be there alongside my brother Eddie Caddy. We're gonna be hosting again. I'm really just turning it up. Just it's become also like a performance at Afro Nation and at festivals. Just keeping the crowd hyped and introducing them to the next act and stuff like that. So we're even getting better at it, and really just making it a big part of concerts and festivals when it comes to Afrobeats. And I think that's incredible, so people can look forward to that when they come there as well. So it's going to be amazing.
It's going to be lit.
Listen, man, that wraps up this first edition of Adesope Live, a podcast where we're breaking down the hottest topics within the Afrobeats culture. We'll be doing this weekly and sharing our thoughts with yourself and bringing some of the special guests into the building. It's Shopsy Drew, aka Adesope, alongside producer Manny Ade in the background, on his knees, sitting down, whatever you want to call it, man. So catch us same place, same time next week. Until then, it's peace out. Cheers.